I'm sure many of you guys have seen the news. Stocks supposedly are dropping after Trump announces tariff on a series of different countries like Japan and South Korea. For those that did not see, these are the series of countries that have received updates on tariff letters. My issue with this, and again, feel free to share your thoughts down in the comment section, is that first off, the new deadline is August 1st. The first deadline for the 90-day pause was supposed to be tomorrow, July 8th at midnight. And guess what? They push it back, right? So just like the one that they're pushing back tomorrow to now August 1st, it wouldn't be much of a surprise that if not enough countries come to negotiate, Trump makes an excuse. He uses whatever he wants as a scapegoat. Everyone accepts it, and we just continue to kick the can down the road with no countries actually signing trade deals with the U.S. Because this is what it was all about, right? 90 days ago, the stock market was in a free fall, and that's just, again, Trump needed some form of saving, and the 90-day pause was the only way out. I made a little bit over $4,900 today on my short on HUD, a lot of consolidation, but we'll see how things continue to develop, and we'll see if we want to reopen that short going into tomorrow. With that being said, NASDAQ market did sell off a little bit, so although they are talking about markets dropped as Trump announces tariff news, this is nothing, right? Markets dropped less than 1%. Let's call it what it is. When you look at overall markets and how incredibly inflated they are for no reason, it's not like our economy is actually thriving, right? When you look at the actual economic data, nothing is supporting that. It's not like, oh, it's super cheap to buy a house, or, oh, like everyone could afford groceries or to put food on the table. That's quite the opposite. I think that there's a huge disconnect where right now we are experiencing markets being so irrational that they continue to thrive, but the stock market is not a representation of how our economy is actually doing. It's how investors perceive our economy to be doing in the up and coming future. And in my opinion, it's just because Trump is in office, right? We saw markets begin to uptick when he became the president-elect before he actually took the actual seat as the 47th president. And there's just a lot of optimism and a lot of hope that he's going to do good for the stock market, right? Nothing wrong with that, but there's not enough, in my opinion, that is actually backing this market up, right? Because when we went on this consistent downturn, he had to pause for 90 days with these tariffs for markets to begin to recover. It wasn't that things actually got better. It's that he paused for 90 days, which now it's being extended for an additional 30 days, right? The new deadline is now August 1st. These series of different countries, as they explain, Japan, South Korea, Tanzania, Bosnia, Indonesia, Serbia, Bangladesh, Thailand, Cambodia, all have received these tariff letters, and many more are set to receive them in the next few hours. We'll see if any of these countries actually come to negotiate. To my understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, to my understanding, with all the letters, with all the negotiations, with all the visits, I think we've signed 2 trade deals in the past 90 days. I mean, you can't call that a win. I don't know why everyone always has to come up with an excuse or a scapegoat when something doesn't actually get done. And it's okay. We don't expect everything to always get done or to get, done 100% of the time, but it's okay to acknowledge that. And it's just insane how the Trump administration does not take any form of responsibility. Like, oh, these countries are being so difficult. Don't worry, we'll get them. And again, it's the same thing over and over again. A lot of talk and not enough to support it, right? The thing that I actually found to be pretty funny is that Dave Portnoy, a lot of you guys might know him. He's the founder and CEO of, I think he's still the CEO of Barstool Sports, man. Obviously a very wealthy individual. He just bought $10 million worth of Tesla stock. It says big money is paying attention. I mean, if you know anything about Dave, again, incredibly funny guy, right? And obviously very successful in the business that he is involved in, right? In his space of influence. No question about that. There's no reason to undermine that. He has not been the best trader. Like he has a lot of money to back it up. No question about that. Hopefully he manages his position size effectively. But when I saw the video of him explaining why he's buying it, yeah, I'm excited to follow up. He expects to make 10%, take the $1 million that he makes off of that position out of 10 million, right? 10% would be $1 million profit. And then he wants to go buy a horse and race the horse or something like that. It's just, I guess, rich people stuff, but I love it. I'm excited to follow up. We'll see if it actually ends up recovering. In my opinion, I don't think it has to do much with Tesla's fundamentals. I heard him talk a little bit about, oh, well, Tesla seems to be doing better. He tried to talk about the fundamentals when it comes down to Tesla. But if you know anything about Tesla fundamentals, first off, that's not what's driving the price down. And that's also not what was driving the price up. If you've paid attention to Tesla, Tesla's been on an upswing because of Elon's affiliation with Trump. Fundamentally, Tesla has not been growing for the past 2 to 3 quarters. Its sales are actually declining. Nothing about Tesla is growing as a company, right? But technically, he was affiliated with Trump. So there's a lot of hope, right? Just like the stock market, there's a lot of hope and a lot of greed that they would make things work. Well, as long as Elon continues to run with this America party, which is a party that could potentially be against Trump, Trump can see that as a threat. Trump can continue to target Elon and therefore also target Tesla and Tesla investors. And this is where the uncertainty is coming out. There's a lot of big Tesla investors that are simply walking away because of the uncertainty and the negative spotlight that Tesla is currently being put in. I love Elon. I think he is one of the greatest minds of our generation. You don't need to agree with me. That's just my opinion. Just because I like Elon doesn't mean that I have to blindly invest into Tesla, right? I still think Tesla as a company is incredibly overvalued based off of recent events. I think that there's a lot of internal changes that need to happen and they need to drive up demand. I don't care if you say that, oh, Tesla is not just a car company. Well, it's a car company in its core, and that's its main business right now. And its main business, its core business, is simply not growing. So you can say anything it is that you want, but its core business is not growing. So therefore, Tesla should not earn the right of actually growing. But again, we've seen much more rational things happen in the stock market. So we'll see how things continue to develop. I would personally love to see Tesla sub $200 per share. And I don't think it would take much as long as Elon continues this road of being very outspoken against Trump. Because it's not that I disagree with Elon, it's that anytime that you put that negative spotlight on yourself and you're such an influential CEO to your publicly traded company, it just brings a lot of baggage for investors. I think it's the safest way to put it. So we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail. We'll see if markets begin to recover once again for no reason, or based off of this tariff news and based off of Elon news, if markets begin to downturn as well with Tesla, and we'll see what trade opportunities present themselves tomorrow. So I hope to see you for tomorrow's live trading session. Like I've said many times before, I don't just post trade updates. I trade live every single day. So you get to see all of my entries, all of my exits within that live trading session. And I trade live every morning for 30 minutes to 1 hour every single day. If you ever want to tune on in, second link in the description down below. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.